Mobili.
Top 10 Best Hypercars 2023. If you love your power absolute, then only a hypercar will do. The very peak of the high-performance art, these exotic, expensive and explosively fast machines deliver the ultimate in driver thrills thanks to some money no object, cutting-edge engineering. What's more, the fact these machines are state-of-the-art speed merchants mean they are an eclectic bunch when it comes to engineering. From pure petrol machines, through to powerful plug-in hybrids and high-energy all-electric offerings, the hypercar uses many different motive forces in an effort to hurl itself at the horizon as quickly as only the fastest, most expensive and ludicrous-looking cars need apply. Find out which we rate the highest. 10. Zenvo TSR-S. With its wild looks and brain-spinning 1,177 brake horsepower power output, the Zenvo certainly packs the raw statistics to be considered a true hypercar. Yet it's the car's unique tilting rear wing that attracts all the headlines, lifting at either end when cornering to help reduce body roll and boot grip. Either way, this daring Danish, yes, really, machine is a fairly exciting steer, its twin-supercharged 5.8-liter V8 delivering 0 to 124 miles per hour in 6.8 seconds, around the same time as a McLaren Senna, should you ask. It also drives the rear wheels through a motorsport-style 7-speed sequential transmission complete with straight-cut gears, which is great for reduced power loss but less so for refinement. So far, we've driven the Zenvo only on track, where it's undeniably fast but requires commitment and familiarity to get the best out of it, a situation not helped by fairly lifeless steering. However, learn to trust that the trick wing is doing its thing and the TSR-S is able to generate big cornering speeds while also feeling surprisingly friendly and approachable at the limit of grip. However, it's also a very brutal and noisy experience, so while the interior is beautifully finished, there's a sense that a long-haul road trip could leave you with a serious headache. 9. Pagani Huayra. Pagani is a maker of cars so rare and exotic that it once offered leather driving accessories that had been blessed by the Bishop of Rome himself, or so the story goes. The Modenese firm's latest offering is the Huayra, introduced in 2012, back when 720 brake horsepower and 738 pounds-ft seemed like a faintly ludicrous amounts of power and torque to try to put through one driven axle in a road car. Driven by a twin-turbocharged 6.0-liter V12 from Mercedes-AMG, the Huayra did indeed prove itself to be a physically challenging driver's car from the old school, with handling demanding respect and every shred of your concentration if you dared disable the stability aids. But it's beautifully communicative and honest, too, and so rich, immersive and special to drive at almost any speed as to be totally intoxicating. 8. Porsche 918 Spyder. Carrying heavier and more powerful electric motors and more battery capacity than either of its hypercar competitors from Ferrari or McLaren, the Porsche 918 Spyder made greater play of its 21st-century zero-emissions technology than its rivals and had a breadth of appeal as a driver's car that neither could quite level with. This car can be driven for around 15 miles on electric power alone and then charged up at home to do it all again. In time-honored Porsche supercar type, it's little harder to drive than the 718 Boxster, and it's a convertible. But it also has a motorsport-derived normally aspirated V8 engine that revs to almost 9,000 RPM and makes the car both raw and exciting in full-bore mode. There's four-wheel drive, too, and more than 900 pounds-ft of torque, making the 918 Spyder accelerate from rest with true savagery. And while it's heavy, boy is it ever fast around the right kind of track. It's the former holder of our dry handling track lap record, no less, and wrecker of the McLaren P1 status as such. 7. McLaren P1. McLaren's first Ultimate Series car had to follow in the footsteps of the firm's legendary and celebrated F1, which built the company a worldwide reputation all by itself. McLaren resisted the temptation to make the P1 a modern facsimile of the F1, however, instead having a 903 brake horsepower hybrid electric powertrain, a two-seat interior, state-of-the-art suspension technology, lightweight construction and competition-grade aerodynamics to deliver the fastest, most focused and most exciting performance car it could imagine. fit for equally unprecedented thrills on both road and track. The particular thrills the P1 conjures make it incredibly fast and purposeful at pace and capable of challenging and rewarding its driver to a level that only racing drivers normally experience. On the road, it's surprisingly docile and drivable, although less mind-bogglingly exciting than McLaren made it out to be. But you won't find a more technologically advanced, remorselessly effective or exquisitely purposeful performance car anywhere in the world than this. 6. Ferrari LaFerrari. Ferrari's top-of-the-tree hypercar is nothing less than the greatest and most sensational peak that the performance car has ever reached. Powered by an incredible, spine-tingling, naturally aspirated, 789 brake horsepower 6.3-liter V12 assisted by 161 brake horsepower of electric power channeled direct to the rear wheels, the LaFerrari's powertrain makes an incredible 950 brake horsepower all told. Although we never got the chance to strap our timing gear to one, Ferrari claims the car hurls itself from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 2.4 seconds and to 186 miles per hour in just 15 seconds. And yet, in spite of its enormous performance and mind-boggling mechanical complication, the LaFerrari has absurdly benign and exploitable limit handling manners that make it so much more approachable and exciting to drive on a circuit than you would ever believe it could be. 5. McLaren Senna. The Senna is a car of truly astonishing track abilities. Even though it's not the most powerful car to have lapped our dry handling circuit, it has such phenomenal reserves of grip that it smashed our dry handling track lap record by fully a second and a half when we road tested it in 2018. Developing some 800 kilograms of downforce at its peak, and with a growling V8 of just under 800 brake horsepower, it's a car you expect to be a nerve-testing challenge on track and almost impossible to drive on the road. The simple fact is that neither is true. The Senna looks after you, and keeps looking after you with its feedback, stability and drivability as you hit the kinds of speeds only usually known to prototype racing machines. It's a physical test to drive, but a supreme, unforgettable mental treat. And although it's less broad-batted and usable than most hypercars of its price, its dedication of the business of going quickly round in 2.5-mile circles is utterly spellbinding. 4. Bugatti Chiron. The Volkswagen Group's trophy brand, Bugatti, made history when it gave us the fastest production car in the world in 2005. The W16-engined, 987 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive Veyron broke through the 250 miles per hour barrier. But it couldn't and wouldn't be regarded as the ultimate performance car forever. Enter in 2016 the Chiron. Where the Veyron used aluminium space frame construction, the Chiron has a lighter carbon fiber monocoque. Where the Veyron stopped short of 1,200 brake horsepower in its final forms, the Chiron UPS that to nearly 1,500 brake horsepower. And where the Veyron left Bugatti's top speed yardstick at 268 miles per hour, the Chiron has, in 1,578 brake horsepower super sport form, taken what has become an increasingly highly contested world production car speed record up beyond the 300 miles per hour marker, where it currently rests at 304.7 miles per hour. And if you want a hypercar to make record speeds so easy to achieve, this is the one for you. Bugatti's more fiercely blown 16-cylinder engine certainly has a bit of turbo lag to haul through and isn't the sweetest sounding of Leviathan lumps, more departing hovercraft or express train than car. But when it starts to surge, it knows absolutely no moderation. 3. Lotus Evija. If you were in any doubt about which way the high-performance wind was blowing, then the appearance of two EVs in our hypercar top 10 should leave you in no doubt. We love high-revving, noisy, fast and dramatic combustion engine machines, but the appeal of instant, walloping, vectored per-corner torque isn't hard to deny, and the Lotus Evija serves that up in spades. Electric or not, this car's key vital statistics leave nothing to chance. Its 70 kilowatt-hour drive battery and quartet of electric motors make it weigh some 1,700 kilograms, but it also develops some 2,000 metric horsepower at peak, runs on Pirelli P0 Trofeo R tires and is claimed to be capable of 0 to 186 miles per hour in just 9 seconds, more than 4 seconds quicker than Bugatti's sensational Chiron can do it. Duff's prototype drive revealed a car that struggles to feel dramatic when launching from low speeds, but one that piles on speed beyond 3 figures with an unrelenting potency, and whose handling feels as balanced and poised as you would expect of a Lotus, despite its 4-wheel drive layout. Promising signs. 2. Pininfarina Battista. With a 1876 brake horsepower on tap, true hypercar pace was never going to be a problem for the Pininfarina Battista, even when you consider that this carbon fiber-hulled machine tips the scales at a not inconsiderable 2,200 kilograms. Essentially a reskined Rimac Nevera, the Battista is one of the first of an all-new generation of high-performance electric cars that have their eyes firmly focused on a future where the internal combustion engine is put out to pasture. The car's raw statistics certainly make for startling reading, with a 0 to 62 miles per hour taking less than 2 seconds and 186 miles per hour coming up after only 12 seconds, the sort of acceleration that had our very own Matt Pryor giggling like a schoolboy when he sampled it. Yet the Battista blends this extraordinarily explosive turn of speed with genuine driver engagement. Up to 1,206 brake horsepower is developed by the 2 rear motors. There are another pair for the front wheels, which means that on track it's extremely throttle adjustable, allowing you to exit corners at all angles of attack. 1. Aston Martin Valkyrie. When it comes to design philosophy, it would be best to describe the Aston Martin Valkyrie as uncompromising. The brainchild of Red Bull F1 technical director and all-round aerodynamic genius, Adrian Newey, the jaw-dropping British machine has been created to deliver the ultimate in outright performance, with nothing coming between it and its lap time smashing goal. The suspension is equally trick, its active adjustable ride height aiming to keep the car on an even keel as aero and cornering forces build. Yet arguably the highlight is the naturally aspirated, but very mild hybrid-assisted, 6.5-liter V12 motor that revs to a heady 11,000 RPM and delivers a knockout 1,140 brake horsepower punch for 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds and a 220 miles per hour top speed.
I hope to inspire you and help you learn more about your favorite theme. Subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think.